Hey guys, so today I'm going to finally be doing another recipe video. This one is going to be like a peanut butter Nutella brownie bar type recipe. I made this a couple weeks ago without Nutella, but I used like just regular Hershey's syrup and it came out really good. My husband ended up eating all of it. So today I'm going to do another one, but I wanted to use Nutella to see if it would give it a little bit different flavor, which I know it will, but I personally love Nutella, so that's what I chose to do. First thing I always start off doing is preheating my oven. And the oven I have in my apartment is so finicky. I have an oven thermometer so I can make sure it is the right temperature. I want my oven set at 350. I have it on here set at 300, which I usually get 350 from, so we're going to put this in and see what we get. And then I'm going to start by, I have all my ingredients here on the counter pre-measured just so it's easier for me, and I have my recipe right here. I'm going to start off by beating the peanut butter and the butter together in my mixer, and I just have a standard like stand mixer with a paddle attachment to it. And here's all my stuff pre-measured out. I always sift my flour just because for me it gives it a fluffier texture for anything that I'm baking. And I'm sorry that I'm horrible at moving my camera around, but I've got you positioned in my cupboard on some Tupperware because I broke my tripod. So we're going to start by doing a half a cup of butter, which for whatever reason I forgot to get stick butter, so I'm using like margarine type country crock stuff, which I used last time and it worked perfectly fine. So I'm going with it again. And then a quarter cup of peanut butter. I have the all natural Jif peanut butter. It's just what I have. You can use whatever kind of peanut butter you want to. You can use low fat. You could probably use crunchy actually and give it that extra texture. So put this in my stand mixer and beat it on low just till it's mixed together. And then I'm going to add the sugar and the brown sugar, which is a cup of each. And the only thing that sucks about the mixer that I have is it's not a big enough bowl that I can easily add ingredients while the mixer is mixing. And it even came with this weird attachment, I don't know if I have it close by, that goes over the bowl so I can like pour flour in without it like spewing everywhere. But to me, I make more of a mess with that than I do just mixing it together. Maybe I just can't use this mixer very well. So I got the butter and the peanut butter and both sugars blending in the blender. It's on about medium high. And then while that is going, you're going to want to add 3 eggs. I usually drop them in one yolk at a time. It's just pretty standard baking, mixing stuff. And then I'll turn it off and I'll take a spatula and I'll make sure to go down the sides of the bowl and even the bottom of the bowl because the paddle attachment won't always get everywhere. I need to find the one that has like the scraper tool on the side, but I wonder if they only make that for like the fancy KitchenAid mixers. I just make sure I get everything very well incorporated, because if you don't get it well incorporated, your stuff is not going to come out tasting right. I remember when I first started baking, I forgot to get all the little flour pockets out, and you were eating the cupcakes and all you could taste was flour with like every other bite. It was so disgusting and I was so embarrassed. So from that point on is what made me want to become a better baker and get better at doing certain things. Okay, now I'm going to add a teaspoon of vanilla. I have the Walmart brand, the pure vanilla extract. If I can open it. You add 1 teaspoon of that, which is probably Nope, don't even have enough on that. Hold on 1 second. Being a baker, I always have backup of stuff on hand. So, luckily, I've got more, because that would have sucked to start doing this whole video and not had enough of what I needed. But that wouldn't be the first time. Okay, a teaspoon of vanilla has been added. Just gonna blend that up some more because I scraped the sides of the bowl and the bottom of the bowl. Okay, and then I'm going to sift together my flour. Sorry, I'm trying to read this and I wrote it really horribly. Flour, baking powder, and salt. And the baking powder is going to be 1 teaspoon. The flour is 2 cups of flour. And I add this all into my sifter and then sift it all at one time. So it kind of mixes together as I'm doing this. And then with all baking stuff, I've always gotten the question, why do you add salt? The salt brings out the flavors of the sweetness. So I'm adding a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And then I have a really old metal sifter. I'm just going to sift this all together very carefully. I wish I had like 2 more hands so you could see how I'm doing this. I kind of go forward with it and then I go backwards just to make sure I'm getting all the little flour balls that get stuck. And I hit the sides of it to make sure like anything that's stuck gets pushed down to the bottom. And if you don't have a sifter like this or like a mill that a lot of other chefs do, underneath here it's just a big like metal grate like strainer type thing. Dollar Tree sells just those by themselves. You could just put it in there and like hit it like this and it'll sift just the same way, just so you can get a nice even mill of your flour and stuff like that, so you get an even incorporation of all your ingredients. Okay, now I'm going to turn the mixer back on and slowly add the flour into the mixer. You want to do it slowly because if you do it all at once, it'll like poof out everywhere in your face and it'll look like you had a big flour party in the kitchen. I had a spoon, I don't know what happened to it. Okay, all my flour is in there. I will try and get better at doing these. I'm still learning on how the best way to do cooking videos is. But I've had a lot of people requesting me to do more, so that's what I'm trying to do. And you can see now the batter is getting kind of thick and almost sticky looking. That is exactly the texture I'm looking for. I really need to find a tripod because balancing you guys on Tupperware is not easy. And I'm afraid I'm going to drop my camera right down into my mixer, which would really suck. Okay, again, I'm stopping the mixer and scraping down the sides and the bottom of the bowl because, again, like I told you, the flour pockets, it's not fun to bite into. And I just got peanut butter all over my hand. My bowl is so tiny, you can probably just see the top of my head or my shoulder. My bowl is so tiny, I have to take the paddle off to mix it together with just a spatula. But I'd still rather have a mixer, a stand mixer of some sorts, than no stand mixer at all. Because before I was trying to bake and doing everything with those little tiny hand mixers, and that just was not working. I can turn this back on and let it mix together some more. It's really hot in here. Oh, let's check the oven thermometer. It says it's at about 325, which I could go with 325, But I want it a little bit higher, so I'm going to turn it just a little bit. See, I had it on 300 and the oven says it's 325. Like, the apartments need to get their shit together. Okay, now, if I can not drip everywhere, I'm going to scrape everything off the paddle into my bowl. And I'm going to lift my bowl off. And I made a huge mess all over the top of my mixer somehow. Now I'm done with the electronics part of it. And again, I'm just scraping the sides of the bowl to make sure everything's very well incorporated. That's probably really loud when I put that down, huh? I guess I'll find out when I'm editing. And now I'm going to add a whole bag of Reese's peanut butter chocolate chips, which equals about 2 cups. I don't know if you can see that on there. To the mixture. And gently incorporate them in because you don't really want to stir the mix too much, because then you won't really have a fluffy type peanut butter bar or brownie, however you want to call this. And then you're going to get a 9x13 pan. I don't have a pan that'll make it nice and evenly shaped, so I just have my big casserole dish I'm going to use. And anytime I'm baking and it says you need to grease your pan, can't do this with one hand. I always use this Baker's Joy non-stick spray. It's a flour spray, but if I'm doing anything gluten-free, I will not use this. I'll just use a little bit of butter. But this stuff is amazing, and everything comes off the pan so easily and so nicely. And it doesn't leave like disgusting stains on your cookware either. So I sprayed that really well. Oh, it makes me want to sneeze so bad. And I'm going to take half of my peanut butter mixture and lay it across the bottom of the pan as evenly as possible. That looks like it's about half. Let's get just a little bit more. You want to be able to cover just the bottom of whatever dish or pan that you're using. And the reason you only do half, you'll find out in a second. That looks good. So I've got the bottom of my pan just barely coated in the peanut butter mixture. Oh, I need a knife. 1 second. And then I'm going to take a half a cup of Nutella and kind of place it all over. Doesn't have to be perfect, just kind of make sure you get it a little bit spread out, because what we're going to do in a minute is swirl it. You don't have to make it like an even layer. I mean, you could if you wanted to use more Nutella, so it's more Nutella than peanut butter, and do like an even layer across, and you'd have like layered fudge brownie things. I'm not sure what to call these. Maybe just peanut butter bars. Okay. So, I've gotten the Nutella in there, and I've got it all over my hand. Doesn't have to be perfect, just as long as it's in there. Then you're going to take the rest of your peanut butter mixture and spread it across the top of all that. Oh. And try not to drop it like I almost did. Peanut butter is so hard to get unstuck from the side of bowls. Maybe I should use a larger spatula too. That could be my problem. Okay, so now I'm just going to evenly spread this around as best as I can. And you can see that the Nutella is already kind of mixing in. Put that off to the side and get my butter knife and just make little swirls just to incorporate the Nutella and the peanut butter all together. Now obviously I'm not Martha Stewart or anything when it comes to swirling chocolate, but it doesn't have to be perfect. That's the beauty about baking your own stuff, is it does not have to be perfect. Now I'm just trying to flatten it back out a little bit. Okay, let's see what our oven temperature's at. See, now it says it's at 375. Oh my goodness, so frustrating. Look, that's what my oven is set at. Okay, so the brownie bars, peanut butter bars, whatever I'm gonna actually end up calling these, have been in the oven about 37 to 39 minutes. My oven today was just being really finicky and I don't understand, but this is what they look like. And all I did was stick a knife in the middle and pull it out to make sure nothing came off the knife. Now a little bit of Nutella did come off, but that's like the gooey part that it's supposed to be like. So hopefully y'all enjoyed this video, and I promise to get a tripod for the next time I do this. Sorry, it might be a little loud. My dishwasher is running right now. And I hope to catch y'all in my next video. Bye!